Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Builder Spotlight with Rootstock Collective. Today, we're joined by Guy, who is the growth lead at the leading DEX aggregator, OpenOcean. Hi, Guy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. I absolutely love space like this. It's always a pleasure to dive into the nitty gritty. But thank you very much for inviting me. And yeah, I look to exploring it.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's great to have you here. We'll just jump straight in and kind of hear more about you and OpenOcean. So it'd be great to hear a bit more about yourself, your role, your journey into Web3, but also how did your background lead you to OpenOcean?
I think there's a really good question. I think with a lot of people's backgrounds, they have this eclectic journey that they've gone on through their crypto life, and I think mine is probably not much different to a lot of other people's. It's full of hacks and scams and being, drained a few times, which I think we've all had to kind of put up with. To be
Yeah.
still in this space after a certain amount of years. But no, I completely fell into the space by accident. I lost my job during COVID. And so during that time, as we all did, I had so much time at the computer without being able to go outside. And at this point, I think I'd heard of Ethereum and crypto and dabbled a little bit. And then started really getting involved with, and I know it's a sore point at this time, the Terra ecosystem. So, at the time, obviously, we're growing like crazy. I helped organize the UK Lunatics, as we're called. I'm sure people are familiar with the Lunatics. We're still a collective of over 160 strong DeFi degens who are still active to this day. But then starting with Terra and the Lunatics, I started working as an ambassador, more for the kind of UK community side. Me and a few friends co-launched one of the largest NFT projects, which was the Lunar Balls. And then kind of one thing led to another, started advising on the community side for a few different
Yeah.
dApps. And then a friend of mine said, hey, I'm leaving OpenOcean. Here's a great platform. It's like, would you like to come in and kind of manage the community side of it? I said, fantastic, let's get started. And so started managing the community. And then one thing's led to another. Other people have gone on to do, other things. Some went traveling. And now, I find myself as the growth lead for OpenOcean. It's probably I would say the best industry I've ever worked in a few different industries. And it's definitely the most fast moving, and really exciting. And really the kind of, if I zoom out a bit, the problems that OpenOcean is solving in the market are like super wide reaching and faced by
Yeah.
almost everyone who interacts with crypto on a daily basis. So yeah, we're super pervasive, and we have a lot of tools that we develop, and we've been around for, 4.5, almost coming on 5 years now. So
Yeah.
some would label that a dino project, but I think those who are still successful and around to today, they're doing something right.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of what you said definitely resonates. I think we all found ourselves here in like very strange ways. So I definitely feel that for sure. And so kind of you started talking about it, but obviously we're here to talk about Open Ocean. So it'd be great to hear more about what you guys are up to. So what's Open Ocean building? What problems are you solving? Kind of for Bitcoin, DeFi, and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a lot of individual DeFi users, crypto users, one of the problems that they face obviously is whenever we come to transact tokens, whether that's
Yeah.
doing a straightforward swap, buying tokens over a long period of time. So we're using things like certain strategies to acquire this. And the main problem OpenOcean was kind of brought into the space to solve was the idea of, what we do is we have pockets of liquidity in the market,
Yeah.
right? We have individual dexes who have very deep liquidity, but maybe only for a few certain pairs. So what we do is we bridge the gap between different dexes, different liquidity pools within the ecosystem. So when users come to us to trade, instead of maybe being hit by excessive fees or really high slippage for a large trade, what we do is we break that down into lots of individual smaller
Okay.
hops, just to enable one, better efficiency on the
Yeah.
execution for the swap. We got two, we have a better security. We can lower the chance of our users getting MEV'd by MEV attackers by breaking that transaction down. And number three, we provide ease of use and flexibility. So, I would urge everyone listening, if you haven't explored using an aggregator yet for your trades, what we essentially do is help unlock the best avenues to be able to trade in DeFi. And with our inclusion with the Rootstock network, we kind of wanted to take that to another level. We'd only previously worked on the EVM side before, and we wanted to make a big splash in this ecosystem. So yeah, OpenOcean was mainly brought into this place to solve that key problem of
Okay.
swapping assets, whether it's high value, low value, or on whatever basis the individual user is determined.
So what users do you work with? Are they individual traders, protocols, a bit of both?
Yeah, so we tend to capture both. We have the OpenOcean front end, which is live, which helps ordinary users kind of go on, see what they can get for their trades, see the routing in real time, i.e., where we might break down part of that swap to go to Uniswap, SushiSwap, WoodSwap, for example. And then the other half of the OpenOcean platform is targeted towards businesses, dApps, clients. So it's very much we're tackling two different sides. We've got what we call the external builders, those who are coming from outside the space looking to build inside. We have those who we are already in contact with looking to deploy on new networks who might hook us up and say, hey, we want to go a deployment on Rootstock, like we're thinking about moving over. And then we also support those businesses who are looking to extract value from the space as well. So it's we support builders contributing to it, those who are extracting value, whether that's for clients or outside users. And it's kind of for everyone and every we say everyone and everything in between. There is no vertical that we don't work with: bridges, wallets, NFT marketplaces, lending platforms.
Yeah.
There is no stone untouched that we haven't covered on some regards. So, and I always say working on the growth side for OpenOcean is pretty much like having a crypto Swiss Army knife in your pocket. When someone comes up to you and is looking for a solution, we have the ability, the power, the process, and the engineering team to break down that problem, see what
Yeah.
we can do with them to tackle it, and then provide a solution moving forward.
Yeah, so you are really kind of taking the DeFi very literally. So everything. I love
Absolutely.
it. We love to hear it. So you've mentioned Rootstock, but obviously we're here to talk about Rootstock today a bit as well. So you're integrated with multiple ecosystems. So why Rootstock? Why did you decide to venture out into the world of Rootstock?
I think for the narrative, obviously for crypto, like BTC domination is at 60%, right?
Yeah,
We all wouldn't be in the DeFi ecosystem. We wouldn't be transacting on Ethereum if it wasn't originally for Bitcoin. And I think
yeah,
we as a platform wanted some exposure to that, whether it's in the form of operating on a kind of Bitcoin DeFi layer, or whether that's maybe like supporting cross-chain transfers into Bitcoin. And I think probably at the right time from the Rootstock Foundation, Marco, we started talking maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I think it's thanks to those very early conversations and the education that kind of was unlocked in a sense for us, like from having those initial conversations. We realize, hey, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the foothold to kind of get into Bitcoin DeFi and be able to, help support Rootstock, but also contributing to, big orange chain above that we all have the reason to thank for being here. So when we started learning about it, learning how the whole entire network is secured, by Bitcoin, and this had never crossed my radar before, but as soon as we started sharing the news internally, we were like, right, we have to be all over this. And I think for us, one of the real benefits was that we'd already had a few partners who we've worked with on other chains already
yeah,
live. So as soon as OpenOcean was live and kicking, boom, we had wallet support, we had bridge support,
yeah,
we had DEX support, all ready to go. So I think from an infrastructure perspective, it made total and complete sense. And then at the
yeah.
time as well, there was no other aggregator on chain. So we just thought, why don't we bring our services? Why don't we start helping out that, seeing what we can do with individual dApps, and then seeing what tooling we can bring across to make the DeFi experience better for everybody.
Yeah, 100%. So naturally, moving on, you're integrated with Rootstock now, and then you've moved over to the Rootstock Collective DAO. OpenOcean is a activated builder, so anyone that wants to support them at all can go in there, manage their allocations, and back them for builder and of course backer rewards as well. Not a trick question, but How have you found the DAO? Have you contributed so far? What are you planning? Or are you planning anything at all?
Yeah, we do actually have some exciting workflows. We have some new on-chain tooling that we have live. We launched it live as a proof of concept, just on one of our like really quiet chains, and then we're looking to expand that to Rootstock. Now, what I love about these features is they're extremely powerful, mostly because they're all aimed at helping the target, the end user, which is the consumer, which is,
Yeah,
who we're all here building for. And what we have
absolutely.
is dollar cost average and limit orders as well. So with both of these features, what these allow people to do is to be able to have trades on their own terms, but also, you know, maybe to consider investing into the market over a period of time. And that is what, that's what we brought these in to do. So dollar cost average lets you spread your buy-in price for a particular asset over as long a period of time as you want, several months, several weeks, several days, whatever it might be. The real important thing that we want to stress is, we are the only aggregator who offers these non-custodially. So that means that
Yeah,
no one has to custody any funds with us whatsoever. You just give us permission to swap at certain intervals and we do it. So with those and the limit orders as well, I think everyone's fairly familiar with what a limit order is, executing trades
yeah,
at certain prices. We feel like those are going to make a really big impact. And especially myself, like obviously with, EVM Bitcoin liquidity, like super, super deep on chain, I think we have the ability to be able to offer like a true, I say, sex-like experience. I should stop comparing us to centralized exchanges because on-chain is so
yeah,
much better nowadays than
yeah,
using a centralized exchange. But I think people are familiar with the kind of, the polished user interface, the user experience that they offer. So I think a lot of the ethos is on us to bring that experience on chain, and that's what we're trying to do, with the extra tools that we're rolling out at the moment. So those should be hitting Rootstock over the summer. I think before the end of August, we have to do a lot of testing for those particular tools, obviously because we're handling a lot of user funds, and
yeah.
we want to make sure everything is on the up and up. So all the contracts verified, audited, and etc. So I think we're happy to be presenting those to the DAO and kind of get some additional feedback. We never just want to release anything and just kind of go, here it is, this is the tool, it's in the market. We want feedback, we want
Yeah.
to make it as good as it can be. And I think that kind of UI UX focus, especially for shipping new tools, is super important. And, there's a bunch of people in the DAO who are way smarter than I am, so I'm going to rely on their instincts for feedback as well. So yeah, it's all good. Big love to all the community members who are contributing. And yeah, I think it's a really good place to be.
100%. Well, we'll be putting a lot of pressure on you guys to make sure you're giving or sharing all the updates in the DAO so everyone knows what's
I'll go
going
for
on
it.
and what's happening over there. And then that's awesome. So obviously you work with builders, you work with investors, but for us, you've scaled across multiple ecosystems. There's other builders that are looking to do the same, maybe for different type projects, different types of projects. But what's the kind of advice that you'd give to builders that are looking to work with Rootstock for the first time or looking just to expand their offering?
Yeah, so if I let's focus on expanding the offering. I think there are a significant amount of partners who we work with who are deployed across multiple EVM chains. And so the onus is partly on us actually, to make those partners aware that we have those deployments active. Sometimes it's as simple as flicking a couple of switches, making sure everything works in the testing environment, and we've got a new integration, like whether it's like bridge and swap support live on Rootstock. So part of the onus is on us, but for external builders, I would say who are contributing to the space, who are maybe unsure, I think one of the things that is can really convince you is to kind of get an appetite for the community
Mm,
that currently exists, whether that's like scraping crypto Twitter for data, or looking into deep technical forums, or jumping into huge Telegram rooms where there's many dissenting opinions.
yeah,
I think getting a good overview of both the positive and potential negative
yeah,
aspects of what could be what deployment could look like. And then I think for those who are who are looking to ideate brand new projects, brand new IPs for the first time, I would think that the first port of call is obviously having really good communication lines with like the
Yeah.
Rootstock core team. So with on the kind of foundation level, and I would say that they've been like 100% super supportive to every single team member that we have. I think one of the Rootstock TG rooms that we have, like with the OpenOcean team, is one of the largest that we have with any other team at all. And anything that we need, they're there 24/7. So I think partly it's the success of new projects and those moving across is based on the efficiency, the efficacy of that foundation team and how well that they can communicate. Hey, we need a V33 dex, or we need this, and kind of
Yeah.
communicating that and looking for people to come through and build it. And I would say, yeah, there are kind of side note, there are loads of other networks who
Yeah.
don't do as good a communication as the Rootstock core team does. And that's what we love to see. It's the kind of democratizing of access to the team. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for builders. Obviously, there is that incentive there to grow the Rootstock network. So I think the roadmap for new projects coming in is really good. And then obviously, not to chill us a lot, you have organizations, you have platforms like us who offer tools to essentially let builders get an instant leg up in the market. So maybe you wanted to build a yield platform, right? But you have no ability to accept cross-chain tokens or whatever.
Yeah.
You come knocking on OpenOcean's door. We have an SDK for you. You can get up and running with testing in as little as 4 to 6 hours, and then boom, you've got a whole new product offering. And I
Yeah.
think it's those pre-packaged kind of deliverables that we can offer new builders that really help them get a head start up in the market. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic environment for building, and I think there's just so many great tools available for builders. Like if you don't use OpenOcean, use another provider. There are plenty who are contributing to the space. Obviously, we'd like to win your business because we think that what we can offer is the best solution at the moment.
No, for sure. Absolutely. That's great. And so we've talked about a lot of the good stuff, and I know that you've already mentioned some of the things that are coming up. But what's next for OpenOcean? Are there any kind of upcoming integrations beyond what you've mentioned, new features or campaigns that you'd like to share with the community?
So we do have a few things that are kind of exciting on the radar at the moment. Obviously, we are always looking for, uh, individual ecosystems to be pervasive in. So that's
Yeah.
always on our radar. We're always looking for new opportunities. And then if I kind of zoom out again, that's same on the partner level as well. We've had some really exciting conversations about some new deliverables over the next 6 to 12 month period. And I think that everything's kind of gearing up for the next 12
Yeah.
months to be so solely builder focused, solely DApp deliverables, and integrating like existing Web 2.5 products into Web 3. There are some tools, like I said, apart from the DCA and the limit order, there are some tools that we're working on, which for a competitive reason, I can't really say too much, only because
That's
I'm sure you'll appreciate that this is a very contested space, and we want to keep some cards close to our chest.
yeah.
But I think really, if we're looking at like kind of social side, campaign side, we do actually have a DAO proposal in the works at the moment for a major tokenomics revision to OOE, which is our native token.
Exciting.
Very exciting. So for all the holders and for everyone who's providing LP with us and those DAO participants, um, jump in and have your say before the official proposal goes live so we can see if we can do any last minute edits, if there's anything we missed. And we really kind of want to listen to everyone's feedback on that. It's been requested from the community for a little while, so we were like, yeah, well, we want to hear what you have to say about it. So that's some exciting things for us. And then, yeah, I think generally just making sure that we have the latest. So we're kind of doing a stealth update. We call this like a V4.5.
Yeah.
That's our main swap router. So We're rolling out v4.5 chain by chain at the moment. I think we've already hit Rootstock. If not, it should be very, very shortly. And again, we're just hoping to bring further improvements to efficiency, gas routing. We have the ability to synthesize more roots
Yeah.
with every single quote. So any time a user comes on and goes, hey, I want to swap one asset to another, we're checking over 2,000 different routes for that individual swap just to make sure that we get the best efficiency. Yeah, so that's pretty much us at the moment, like looking forward. And then obviously we have to be a kind of nimble and prepared for the market to be able to move really quickly if there's, a new ecosystem, a new EIP standard, whatever it might be. We have to have the ability to move quick, either work, integrate it, or see how we can, work with these new processes on a B2B scale or a B2C scale. So yeah, loads of exciting things coming.
That's amazing.
And
Lots going on there, lots to look out for. For closing notes, for anyone who's watching this, how can they get involved? How can they contribute or see what you're up to, or, use OpenOcean?
yeah, I think the number one step is whenever you're gonna do a trade next, whether it's a swap or you want to bridge some tokens, have OpenOcean in the back of your mind as the go-to location for where you can swap. Essentially, we have a whole basket of network supported, Rootstock, obviously like integrating all the major LPs. So anytime you want to do any trading, make sure you check OpenOcean first, because more often than not, we're going to give you one of the most competitive rates in the market. And if you're a builder looking to build in the space, our Telegram Discord is open. You can come in, have a chat with us, say, hey, Guy, I'm thinking of making an arbitrage bot, or we're thinking of launching a new trading platform, whatever it might be. Come and have a chat with us and we can see how we can potentially work together, help you level up. And yeah, like I say, for our offering, everything that we do is completely free to builders. So knock on our door, come and grow on Rootstock with us. We're just here to have a good time, continue building, and yeah, just make DeFi great again.
I love it. That's amazing. Guy, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing it all come to fruition and everything launch that's coming out in the future, and hear all the secret things that you're planning to launch as well. And I hope to catch up with you very soon. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you so much, Eleanor, and the whole Rootstock Collective as well as a whole. Thank you so much for inviting us. And yeah, please reach out if you want to talk about anything that we've mentioned or just any questions in general.
Awesome. Thanks, Guy. I'll speak to you soon.